The Nintendo Switch 2 is finally here. I got to demo the console, testing out a variety of new features with a bunch of games, including Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Switch 2 comes with a ton of upgrades. Some of them I love, and others not so much. Let's get into it. With the Switch 2, the screen is wider and larger, with a 7.9-inch LCD screen supporting a 1080p resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, and HDR. On paper, it's a minor spec bump, but you can really see the improvement from the OG Switch's 720p resolution and 60Hz refresh rate. Breath of the Wild looks like a completely different game, with the improved lighting and the crispiest textures and graphics. It's hard to describe the weight of the Switch 2 because Nintendo had all the consoles and controllers anchored with anti-theft devices, but the Switch 2 is the same width as the original, so it still feels good in your hand, unlike chunkier handhelds like the Steam Deck, which leave me with permanent crab hand after extended play sessions. Nintendo says the Switch 2 will have a 6.5-hour battery life, but it'll depend on the game you're playing. So resource-intensive games like DK Bonanza or Breath of the Wild will probably eat up more of that time. So I know a lot of people have questions about the new C button. We didn't get a chance to see that in action for the hands-on event, so we'll get into that in our review to come later. But basically what the C button does is bring up a video and voice chat screen that looks kind of like a Discord call, where you can share your gameplay screen or turn on your camera to start a video chat. Chat supports up to 4 people with screen sharing and 12 people with voice chat, but I'm definitely going to need to beef up my friends list if I'm going to be making use of that. Nintendo didn't do much with the ergonomics of the Switch 2 controllers. Both the Joy-Cons and the Pro feel the same in the hands, even with the new programmable GL and GR buttons on the Switch 2 Pro controller. You might not even notice them. I didn't. Perhaps the biggest innovation with the Nintendo Switch 2 is the Joy-Con mouse controller, and I gotta be honest, I'm not sold. For example, Metroid Prime 4 supports 3 types of control schemes. You've got basic controller mode, mouse mode, and split Joy-Con mode. I demoed the game using mouse and split mode, and I just didn't like how either felt. The profile of the Joy-Con turned on its side feels very awkward in the hand, and after playing Dragon Drive, the new 3v3 wheelchair basketball game, I could feel my arm cramping from my wrist up my shoulder. Folks with minor issues with wrist or shoulder pain are gonna feel this, even after short play sessions.
This was awkward as hell.
The developers also understand that most folks don't play with a flat surface directly in front of them, so you can use your lap for mouse controls, but please make sure you're wearing pants. One of the big new flashy features for the Switch 2 is the new camera and microphone. We got to try out both with the Mario Party Jamboree TV expansion, and seeing it in action, it's pretty cute. To start, you have to calibrate the camera with your face by lining it up within a box. It then captures your full body for some neat visual effects. The microphone will pick up your voice from a distance and has some pretty good noise cancellation to not pick up what's going on in the background. There were a number of games to try out, and first up is Mario Kart. Mario Kart World is pretty much the must-own game for the Switch 2. The first thing I noticed is simply how beautiful the game is. The game has open world elements where you can just drive around waiting for a race to start, and I had a ball motoring about, seeing the sights, and trying new food, which changes your outfit. But when it's race time, that's when the game really heats up. The console retails for $449, and it'll be $499 bundled with Mario Kart World. If you want the bundle, and you do, you'll save $30 versus buying the game by itself. Get those pre-orders in because Nintendo's saying once they're gone, they're gone. And that's it. That's our very first, very brief look at this highly anticipated console. It's about what you'd expect. Quirkiness and creativeness from a company known for clever solutions and new ideas. It's not a spec beast, but with the Switch, the experience comes with the games, and they've announced a lot of them. Of all the games I played, Donkey Kong Bonanza was the most fun, and I'm really excited to see the Dusk Bloods. Should be a fun Switch summer coming this year. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hop on over to TheVerge.com to read more about the Switch 2 and how to get one, and let us know in the comments what you think. I personally want to know is who at Nintendo backed the big old money truck up to From Software to get them to make a Switch exclusive PvPvE game? The children yearn for Bloodborne. Just give us Bloodborne. Nintendo, you have the power to give